Another fine year of the tournament. Broly, what are you still doing here? No. See, we ain't getting this. We ain't having this. Clear out, all right? Huh? Oh, ow! Did you just explode me? All right, buddy. That's it. You're getting off the premises right now. Ow! Oh, it is on. What are you gonna do? Can't get me up here? Oh, that's right. Now I'm Super Saiyan 2. Well, I'm just gonna go lock on and charge my beam. It's not like you could do anything from down there. Ah! How did he just teleport up and punch me? Okay, fine then. We'll go mano a mano. Why don't you, ow. Why don't you just eat this? Yeah, that's right. Hang it up. You just transformed. Ah, no. All right, fine. You want to transform, I'll transform. And we go even further beyond. Take that, and that. And he just transformed again. What is this? Broly, stop. Stop it. All right, big, final attack. Welcome, heroes, to my first scripting tutorial video. Not done one of these, so I'm gonna just kind of wing it. Hopefully this will go. But as you saw in the beginning, I had a Broly, and he did a lot of stuff. So the whole purpose of this is to get you guys up to the ability to create your own, effectively, Broly, or what other kind of NPC that you wish to create. To do more than what you could typically do with a basic custom NPC. Like Broly here, he can get bigger, he can transform, and all that. And he can also teleport and all that good stuff. But of course, you need to start at the basics. So in order to get started, first you're gonna need nashorn. All right, I'll go through the installation of this real quick. This is mostly like, I've noticed that you could potentially script without having to do any kind of setup, but I know for a fact on a server you would require this, and I found that doing this also works in single player. So here is what you need. You need a file called nashorn. This guy. So when you install Java, it should appear in a folder like this. So if you don't have a 64-bit system or whatnot, it'd be just the program files. Mine is the x86, just check them both. You just need to find the nashorn. Essentially, you go there, go to Java, go to your version of Java library, ext, and it should be there. If you cannot find it, you can always use your search function, depending upon if you're a Mac or whatever. However you search for files, you can just search for nashorn.jar, and you should be able to find it. So you just grab that, and then you stick it in your mods folder. And that's it. If you have a server, it just needs to be in the server mods folder. So if, somebody else is hosting it, just tell them to get that file. And that's pretty much it. Once you got that done, you're ready to get scripted. Now, with nashorn installed, you are ready to start scripting. Well, I say installed, it mostly just has to be there. I'm not even 100% sure if it needs to be there in single player, but Well, the important thing is you're gonna need this tool called the scripter. The scripter, it's best to just get in creative. You could just go in game modes and blah, blah. And then you go over here and bam, you got a scripter. Bam, I just replaced my current one, it's fine. But yeah, you get the scripter here, and then you can right click any custom NPC and it'll open this menu. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new one so that way things don't get confusing here. But here we go, we got Skamoto. Let's give him a texture here, yeah. Okay, yeah, he's gonna be Camo Skamoto Steve. How you doing, Skamoto? You doing good? Great. So yeah, you right click the NPC, and if you have nashorn properly installed, this should show up here, ECMA script. Essentially, that's the language that it recognizes. I'm sure there's like other types of languages, other setups that you could do, but this is the one I currently understand, so we're gonna go with that. Now, just to give you an idea of what's going on here, the console here is pretty much your output. This is what you're gonna check to make sure stuff's working. Stuff ain't working, it's gonna be crying here. And over here you have enabled. If you click yes, that means all your scripts are active. If you click no, it's not gonna do anything. So it's a good idea to start off with no, so that way stuff doesn't happen. But remember to enable it, otherwise nothing's going to happen. Now, let's see, just to go over some other stuff. Here are the hooks. Now, hooks essentially is the particular events where each thing will fire off. Essentially, like init here will fire off when the NPC initializes. So when it initializes, it will do whatever script is in here. In this area here. Blah, blah, blah. Update will fire off I believe it's like every tick. I could be wrong. And by the way, if I'm ever wrong about anything in particular, let me know in the comment section below. I want this to be a learning experience for everyone. So yeah, update happens about every tick. So if you want something to constantly happen, that's where you put it. Interact is usually when you interact with the NPC, like right-clicking them. Hello, Zeshin. Yeah, what do you... Tell me hi. Dialogue, I believe, is supposed to happen when you talk to them. There are some events that I'm not completely familiar with, but as we go and I figure out how to use them, I'll let you guys know. The idea I wanted to go with this is that we kind of learn together how to do things, and I share the knowledge of what I find. So, yeah. Damage, I know, happens every time you punch them. So every single time this guy gets a punch, I'm not gonna punch him because I know if I punch him, his script's gonna fire off. But yeah, every time he gets damaged, that event will fire off. Every time an attack happens, that means when the NPC themselves attacks, that will fire off. And then target is whenever they gain a target, which is different than attack, because attack means that they're actually committing to an attack. Target could mean that if I'm over here and I just punch him, he's gonna look at me. That looking at me is him targeting me. So that's if you wanna like do something before they attack, but when they, you know, target you. Collide is when, you know, it collides with something, bumps into something. Kills is when you, so yeah, killed is when they died, kills is when they kill someone, and I believe dialogue close is when you have a dialogue and they close it. So if you are familiar with custom NPCs and you like add dialogues to the NPCs, you could have something triggered when that closes or initiates. I assume that's what this one will do then. I'll have to experiment with that. Anyways, if you look here, this is the API. I'll put a link in the description below. This is a very important tool. It essentially details more what everything you can do within each event. Now, I understand this might be a lot of information at once. I'm gonna try to go slow and in case like anybody's not familiar with scripting, and start with the basics. So we're gonna go with, we're gonna start with just getting them to speak a hello world, if you will. In the programming world, it's pretty much the like starting program so that you know everything's working. So for our hello world, we're just gonna get the NPC to kind of say hi during various like script interactions. Just so you know, every time you end a line, you want to end it with a semicolon. So what we have here is this variable D now can store a value. We're just storing it 1. So very basic concept, but the idea here is that 1 could represent whatever we want it to. So for example, it instantiated as 1. Let's say we add to it. So we go D equals D plus 1. So what we did here is we committed to memory the value of D as 1, and then here we added to it. Now, of course, this isn't really doing anything. We can't really see. So I'm gonna teach you guys a really good early on debugging technique. I'm gonna like explore more, see if there's better debugging techniques, but obviously we can't see anything going on here. So now I'm gonna describe classes. A class essentially is like a variable, but there's more within it, methods that you could call that do stuff. So remember how I said D now is representing 1 here? Well, if you look at the API, within the init script, it says event, script event, world, NPC. So that means we have the event object, we have the world object, and the NPC object. The event object has like specific information to it, but what we're interested here is the NPC object. Now, think of this as the NPC object contains all the functionality of the NPC. So if you were looking at it with the wand, the NPC object would have like display, stats, AI, inventory, advanced, global, a bunch of stuff. But a very basic idea is like NPC health. How would you get that? So I opened up the NPC class here. Is there anything that represents health? There is right here. So we could set maximum health. So from here, we have a method where we can actually set its health. So if you get the idea, you have essentially within one line of code, a way that you could manipulate the NPC. So for example, here, we have D equals D plus 1. Let's say NPC... Now I know I was talking about debugging, but I wanted to get the concept of methods and whatnot first. So we're gonna use that set max health. We're gonna set it to D. This is gonna be bad. Well, let's do D plus N. So D starts at 1, and then we do D plus N. Why don't you guess what his health is gonna be once we initialize him? Can you guess? Can you guess? It's probably very simple. Let's see, stats, 11. So now his health will always start at 11. So as you can see, NPC.set max health, that will essentially set his health. So that's a method. A method does a thing. A method contains a value, which is contained within these parentheses. So just to break it down, NPC is the object. Dot starts a command. Set max health is the command. Parenthesis, which as you can see within the API here, it has an int health. That means it takes an integer. An integer is essentially any numeric value that doesn't have a decimal. There's also like byte representations or whatever, but that doesn't matter. All you need to know is that it takes a number. So D, we have, it contains a number. It contains 11 because we instantiate it as 1. We added 10 to it, so that has 11. So we passed 11 to it. And would you know, his health is now 11. Now, if at any time anything is confusing or you're not sure what I'm talking about, I know sometimes I can like go on tangents and whatnot, it might be confusing or whatever. Just let me know in the comment section below. I'll clarify anything that you're not sure what's going on or whatever. I want to try to be as like open to everyone as possible for how we're gonna go with this. Okay, anyways, so now we described what these methods are. A good way to debug or at least see what you have is the npc.say. So say is a method that will essentially make the NPC say something. So let's say we make him say D. As you see down there, he says 11. So every time he initializes, he'll say 11. But it's important because you could put most everything that you want here. Sometimes it doesn't work. So in that instance, we made him say that. He says no pest.npcs.scripted.script NPC at blah, 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 blah. Why don't we go ahead and instantiate something that's a string so we can kind of mess with that. So let's go var say something. Say something. We're going to make it equal to a string. All strings are within quotes. This is important. You want to make a string, put it in quotes. So let's say Bob. So say something is Bob. By the way, probably not a good idea to make very long variables because you have to type them all out. All right, so now NPC say something. Now it says Bob. Sweet. All right, so what we have, wait, actually, good idea. Why don't we make him say, hello world. There we go. Hello world. There we go. We have a script. It's saying something. Okay, so you get the idea. You can kind of mess around with it to figure it out. If you guys want to mess with these things and try to figure out how they trigger, I would highly recommend once you've done watching this video, just get it all set up and just start messing with it. Let's see. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, because this is the basics and variables are like the basic, is the fact that you need the ability to possibly store a variable and pass it around. So let's go ahead and get rid of all this script here. We don't need it. So let's say we had var start health equal to 10. So I want his health to always equal to 10, but I want to be able to manipulate whatever his current health is. Actually, let's just call it current health for current health. So his current health is 10, and I want to do npc dot set max health equal to cur h. So like it starts off with that, but the problem is if I try to do like let's see, npc dot say cur h. If I try to do this, it's not saying anything. I mean, it's got to interact and all that, but look, cur h is not defined. The problem is the way this is currently set up. This is just 1.7, I believe, the way this is set up, and I believe in 1.10 it changes. But because like a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff is in 1.7, I'm going over how it was set up now. But the problem is, all the variables you create are local to the instance that they were created, and they will always reinstantiate themselves. So like say if I go var cur h equals 10, this will always say 10. Wait, oh. Gotta watch out for them typos. All right, so you see, he always says 10. This is not very helpful because he's just gonna keep saying 10. Oh, also another important thing: if you want him to want a line to no longer be used, put 2 slashes at the front of it, and it'll just ignore that line. It's great. You could do things like this. This is a note, and you are a butt. But there you go. And nothing happens. I mean, that error was from before. Nothing happens. It's just, it skips over the line, so you can use that as a way to kind of remind yourself of stuff, and you know, it's good and dandy. Anyway, so we want the health that is from init. Because we don't want to have to mess with this stuff. So what you do is there's another thing called npc.setTempData. Now what this method will do is it will create a variable and store it inside the NPC themselves. You could also do a world.setTempData. What that will do is that will set a variable that is used across the world, which means that any other NPC can pull that information as well. Great way to pass information between NPCs. Anyways, we're gonna look at set temp data from the NPC because we wanna know how to do it. So first off, you gotta name it something, and it's probably a good idea just to name it the variable that you're gonna use in all instances of it. And then you do a comma, and then the actual variable. So I'm just doing this because to kind of like distinguish them, that they don't have to be the same variable, but it does help that they are the same variable. All right, so what this is doing is it's creating a variable called cur h inside the NPC, and it's storing whatever you send it into that value. So I set it to 10, it is stored as 10 at cur h. Now this cur h is the value that everything else can do. So let's go ahead and put it on interact, so that way it's not like constantly spamming stuff, because that's been annoying, if you know what I mean. All right, so npc get temp data is the way to extract it. All right, and remember we called it cur h. All right, so what this will do is it will return a value. Now remember, when you set values, you can just set it to any value. Well, this is returning a value. So if I go var cur h equals that, and then go cur h, guess what happens? Oh, hang on, let me change the value because this is really ruining the impact. Let's change it to 15. You right click them, and you see there's a 15. Didn't I? Oh, right. Let's just disable that. There we go. So now he's saying 15. So it's actually pulling the value, which I stored here, on the interact. So we set cur h equal to the temp data that we set here, which means what we could do now is we could actually manipulate it. So we go cur h equals cur h plus 1, and then npc.say that. And then something we could do with this is then store it again. So go store set temp data cur h. Make sure it's both in brackets. Now remember, this over here is the variable name that we're setting inside the NPC, and this is the actual value. I'm just using the same one in this instance to kind of just, reinforce that. So you can call it whatever you want, doesn't really matter. So it's that one here, and it's this one here. It doesn't matter. This is the value, this is the name. So just get that in your head. First the name, then the value. All right, so now what's gonna happen? Take a guess. The value keeps going up. Now, what can you do with this? Well, if you recall in the beginning, we actually had a way to set his hit points. So what could we do with this? We could make it when he damages, his health goes up, which means that his max health goes up, which means that his regen will potentially recover it. So let's do that. We have a regenerator, which gets increasingly dangerous. Oh God. Okay, so npc.getTempData. Cur h. All right, so it's getting that value. We're gonna store it here. Var cur h equals that. Okay, so we got the value. npc.set max health to cur h. Okay, so oh no wait, we wanted to increment here. So cur h equals cur h plus 1, so that increments it by 1. So every time you punch him, his maximum health will go up. And then we set it, and then we store it. H, there we go. All right, so what we have here is every time he is now damaged, his current health, which is probably, we should probably call it something like max health, but whatever. His current health will go up. So we'll go ahead and remove it from here. So clear, by the way, clears the entire thing, kind of helpful. So we have a dude who every time you punch him, his health goes up. What can we do with that? Well, since we know that, wait, I have to, his current health is that. We should probably instantiate his max health to much higher than 15, because this is DBC. Okay, so his health will start at 1500. Every time we punch him, his health goes up. Let's make it increment. Instead of by 1, it'll increment by 10. I forgot, like, DBC has a lot of damage. I do more than 10 hit points of damage. And then we give him, like, a decent regen. So that goes to a stats. Combat regen is 10. And then let's see what happens with this dude. Let's see, his role lines. No, I think it's like faction. I want to set his faction. Here we go. Neutral. All right, I believe I'm in creative probably, but anyways, here we go. Okay, he could not handle that. All right, here we go. So I can't really see his health. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Now we can actually see his health. So as we punch him, you see his health is going higher and higher and higher. So now he's regen back. Now he's at 1600. Okay, let's see. Can we just do 5%? There we go. So now what you have is a dude whose health will constantly get up. So if you keep punching him and you let him recover, he's going to be even worse. All right, and there you go. That's already a unique NPC that you couldn't normally create with just the basics. This is now with just a very simple script. Very simple. I mean, a lot of things that you could do in here, you don't require a lot. So what I want to do with this series is I do want to make it a series. I want to go over various ideas that you guys might have and also various ideas that I might have and kind of show you guys how to make it and in a way that you guys could potentially also create your own stuff. So let me know in the comments section below, what kind of effects do you want to accomplish? Do you want to know how to do transformations, teleportations? I could potentially do flight, Kai Blast, I don't know, anything. Any kind of idea. Let me know in the comment section below, and as I do the videos, I will cover each individual thing. Yeah, I haven't covered all the things that Broly can do, but I figured we'll start small and build up from there. So let me know what you guys think of this series, and we'll go from there. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and goodbye.